gonna give it a good hard pull down. In this particular case, all the way forward was set at 40 pounds. Hello everybody, Captain Cody here from globalfishingreports.com. Today, I'm gonna show you guys how to set your drags. First, I'm gonna show you how to adjust your drags on both a spinning reel, a star drag, and a lever drag. And then I'm gonna show you how to actually set your drag using a pole scale to make sure your drag is set properly, not too light and not too strong, so that you guys will be able to catch the most fish. So before you cast, you always want to check your drag. To check your drag, just pull on the line to see about what the strength is. If you want to tighten your drag, you simply spin this clockwise. Give it a couple clicks, recheck. Oh, that's too tight, so you back it off a little bit. If you go to the left, this will loosen it, counterclockwise. So if you go all the way this way, it becomes really easy. You turn it clockwise, and it gets a lot harder to pull. And the easiest way to check your drag on these spinning reels is always just to pull it out. You get a real good feel for what's too strong, what's not too strong, how many clicks really tightens it. Every reel's different. So just because on one reel you did one click and that tightened it up a lot, other reels you gotta really give them 5 or 6 clicks to really adjust the drag strength. All right, next we're gonna talk about how to set star drag. So to tighten star drag, you pull this forward. Pull this forward, it tightens it, this way looses it. Before you change your drag, always check your drag. Give it a little pull. In that case it's too late, so we're gonna tighten it up a bit. Give it another pull, a little tighter, a couple more clicks, and that's a pretty good setting there. Again, if we wanna loosen it, we'll go back on this. And this is actually a Shimano line counter reel. It's a Dakota 500 LG. One thing about this particular reel is the drag always seems to loosen up on me. You fight one fish and then you give it a pull and it's much looser than whenever you started. So sometimes during the fight, I actually have to give it a couple clicks. And what I do to determine that, if I need to tighten it up, I tell the angler to lift their rod. And whenever he lifts his rod and he's reeling, if the pole's not bent over very hard, then I know we need to tighten the drag. If that pole's got a really good bend to it, I leave it alone and I don't touch it. So sometimes you actually just have to look at how much tension's on the pole to know, oh, should I tighten up my drag or should I not tighten up my drag? One more thing that I actually just learned on this reel, which would have saved me a lot of tangles, is this actually adjusts the free spool setting. So if you put this in free spool, how much tension there is whenever this line's coming out. I did a lot of mooching this year and I had this very loose, so you always had to keep your finger on it. And I was fishing with a lot of people that don't have a lot of experience keeping their fingers on reels, so it ended up bird nesting a lot. But if you actually turn this way, this actually increases the tension on the spool in free spool, and it'll save you a lot of tangles. If you tighten it too much, the reel actually becomes hard to reel, so there is definitely an in-between point. It's not perfect, it's not like a bait casting reel where you have a really good adjustment for that, but there is some play in there, which is important to note. Let's talk about how to adjust your drag on a lever drag system on a conventional reel. This is what you use whenever you're going for big fish. So the first thing is this adjusts your drag. This is what people are used to. So this is free spool, this is strike, this is your set position. This also has a clicker on this side. So if you have it down at free spool and you're pulling line out, your clicker's on. Put it this way, your clicker's not on. For this video, we'll leave the clicker on. So now to increase your drag, we start pulling this up. We increase the drag a little bit. Now this becomes harder to pull out. And whenever we set it to strike, strike is where you want to fight the fish. You want this position to be set at 25 to 30% of the total line strength. So if your line is 100-pound line, you want your strike position to be set at 30 pounds. One thing also to note is if you're using really heavy line, like 200-pound line or even 100-pound line, but you're using it on a smaller lever drag reel, check the specs of the reel to make sure you're not exceeding the max drag of the reel at that set position. Now, if you're fighting a really big fish and you're not making any progress on it, and the fish isn't pulling in a way that you think it'll break the line, it's kind of tired out, or it's just dead weight, you can go past the set position. You can go past the button, but don't do this right away. Only once you fought the fish for a while and you have a good feel for what's going on. Then you can push this button down and you can bring your lever past the button. Check your drag with a pole scale at a couple different increments along the reel so you know exactly how much force you're adding as you pull this lever forward. Also, definitely know how much drag is on the fish if you go to full. All right, I have two different pull scales here. One of them has a max weight of 50 pounds. One of them has a max weight of 20 pounds. How these work is if you pull down on the scale and it hits a max point, this line is set at whatever pound you stopped at, which in this case, it looks like it's right around 29 pounds. Same thing with this one. As you pull down, this gets left at whatever the max drag you went to would be, and in this case it looks like it's 9 pounds. Alright, to set your drag using a pull scale, you set up your reel and pole in a holder, you put your pull scale through the swivel, and you're going to give it a good hard pull. You're going to act just like a fish. Give it a good pull down, and you're going to read what number this is set to. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and give this a good pull. And now we're going to check at what that drag was set at. This is 80-pound line, so we want to be right around 25 pounds. And you can tell that we are right at 25 pounds. So we are perfect. This drag is set. So we just checked that this drag at the set position was right at 25 pounds. Now I pulled that lever drag all the way forward, and I'm going to see what our weight is on this particular reel. We're going to give it a good hard pull down. In this particular case, all the way forward was set at 40 pounds. That's actually perfect. It's about half of total line strength. So if you really have to, you could go to max drag, but if there's any weakness in that line, your knots aren't 100%. So even if you have 80-pound line, with your knot strength, you're probably at 60 pounds. So you're really pushing your luck by putting it all that way forward. But if the fish is all the way tired out and you're just trying to inch him those last couple inches, this could work, but be careful. Only do it if you absolutely have to. So what we just determined is whenever we bring this lever drag up to the strike position right in front of the button, our drag was 25 pounds, which is perfect. And we went past the button, we went all the way to full, and our drag on this particular reel, how we have it set up right now, was 40 pounds. And with 80-pound braid, that's a pretty good setting. Now I'm pretty confident that if I have a big fish, I can fight it right at the strike position and catch the fish. And if I have to in a pinch, I can go past the button and I don't have to worry about immediately snapping the line. Check all your reels. Every reel is going to be different. All right, one more thing about this conventional lever drag reel. It's also a 2-speed reel. So the gear ratio is 5-to-1 in high and 2-to-1 in low. So what happens if you can't get the fish in on high speed, which means as you crank, you're going to retrieve a lot more line, you can go to low speed. To go to low speed, you actually just push this button in right here, and now you're in low speed. And every time you reel, you're going to reel up less line, but it will be easier to reel up that line. That's really nice whenever you're tired, or if someone just doesn't physically have the strength to reel. It'll be at 25 or 30 pounds, but the torque setting will be adjusted so that they won't feel the full weight of that 25 pounds. If you guys enjoyed that video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel. If you click the notification bell, you'll get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Thanks for watching, guys, and good luck fishing.